I'm Brian Lilly. Turn off your mind, relax, float downstream. That is the topic of tonight's Byline. Are we allowed to have our own thoughts anymore? Are we allowed to stand by our own beliefs, our own values? Or are we simply to surrender to the all-encompassing Borg? Resistance is futile. Yes, if you're counting, that's two pop culture references in the first few seconds of the show. The Beatles and Star Trek, and you might be wondering what I'm on. Well, so far, the strongest thing I've had today is coffee. But I am really bothered by what is being proposed by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario. They have a new policy coming forward that essentially says doctors should turn off their minds, relax, float downstream. Just go with what everyone else is doing. That's the Beatles reference. Turn off your mind. You know, we think of doctors or lawyers or other professionals as individuals. They are supposed to give us their best advice, what they think is best. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I don't even play one on TV. Well, so when I go to a doctor, I'm relying on them to give their best advice, and then I, as an individual, am free to accept or reject that advice. That's not what the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario wants. They want doctors to surrender their individuality. They want them to surrender to the Borg. Now, I've never been much of a Star Trek fan, but I do know enough about the show to say the Borg, they're the bad guys. They appear again and again in the program. They're a recurring enemy, and they will tell you to surrender because, well, resistance to the Borg is futile. Wikipedia describes this evil group like this: the Borg are a collection of species that have been turned into cybernetic organisms functioning as drones of the collective, or the hive. That's what the College of Physicians and Surgeons wants. They want doctors to function as drones of the collective. Under a new proposal that will, well, it'll require that doctors either provide or refer patients for services that doctors currently do not provide based on moral or religious grounds. What's the real issue here? There's two of them: the pill and abortion. Now, there aren't many doctors that refuse to prescribe the pill or refer for abortions, but there are some. I personally know two very good family physicians in Ottawa who operate in this manner. They're upfront with their patients that based on their moral and religious convictions, they will not provide or refer for these services and others. They tell people this before they sign on as patients. And the patient then has the choice: okay, we'll accept this, be okay with it, or say, no, I don't like this, and go find another doctor. Not good enough for some. They want everyone to be exactly the same and give the same opinion. Turn off their minds, surrender to the Borg. That's the goal here. Doctors have always been able to decide based on their own consciences what is best to provide. And the right to do that is enshrined in the Charter. It says right in the beginning, everyone has the following fundamental freedoms: freedom of conscience and religion, freedom of thought, belief, opinion, expression, including freedom of the press and other communication. Notice that these rights are so important, they're listed first. Well, that doesn't matter. The college says, sure, you've got these rights, but other rights must come first. While the Charter, this is from their report, while the Charter entitles physicians to limit the health services they provide on moral or religious grounds, this cannot impede, either directly or indirectly, access to care for existing patients or those seeking to become patients. Therefore, the college requires physicians who choose to limit the health services they provide on moral or religious grounds to do so in a manner that respects patient dignity, ensures access to care, and protects patient safety. All right, what does that bureaucratese mean? It means that if this new policy is accepted, doctors need to refer patients for services they fundamentally disagree with, or if there are not other doctors to provide it, they have to provide these services. Really? This is what we've come to? How hard is it to get the pill? That's what started this debate. An Ottawa woman protesting that she went to see one of the doctors that I know and was told by this doctor they would not prescribe the pill. Now, she could go to another doctor, another walk-in clinic, a sexual health clinic. It's not hard to get a prescription for the pill. But no, she decided she needed to force all doctors to do this. Same with abortion. You can actually just go to the abortion clinic. And what's going to happen when euthanasia is legalized? This new policy, when euthanasia comes in, will force doctors to kill their patients or refer them to someone who will kill them because the patient asked for it. That's all. The patient asked for it, so you have to give it. Turn off your mind, surrender to the Borg. This isn't about healthcare access. This is purely political. This is Alinsky-esque. This is about finding and punishing your enemies, those that disagree with you. It's the same fight that says you can't have Christian lawyers from Trinity Western, or that forces a bakery to make gay couples a wedding cake when they don't want to. It's about stomping out any opposition to your point of view. We used to hear live and let live. Now it's live as I tell you. Doctors and the public have until February 20th to have their say on this. You can visit the college's website to let your thoughts be known as a member of the public or as a physician if you are one. Now, I don't think it matters if you agree with the doctors that don't want to offer these services or if you viscerally disagree with them. If we value individuality, if we value freedom, if we value our fundamental rights, then the College of Physicians has to be told to smarten up and stop trying to make everyone act as a single collective. And that's the byline.